Ah, good deal. All right. So, welcome to Redox Nurse Talk. I'm so excited that you have taken time out of your busy schedules. Some places where it's morning time, and some places it's in the evening. From all over the world here, all nations are here on the Zoom this evening. So that's exciting. So I'm Doria Stewart. I'm a registered nurse from Atlanta, and I have my wonderful partner Cindy Reed from Nashville. And we are independent associates with a company called ASEA that has the only cellular health technology in the world that is a breakthrough. And so our mission is to educate as many people as we possibly can about this technology, and so that you can make a good decision on your health, and incorporate this in your health regimen and into your lifestyle. And also and it's also a great opportunity to share this with others. So again, thank you. What you're about to hear on the videos that we'll be showing this evening, and hearing a testimony later, is not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure anything. So we're very excited to have somebody from Australia down under, Greg Evans, that has a testimony that probably tops them all from what we've had on our Redox Nurse Talk in the last year. He's been, Cindy will go into detail, or he'll share his testimony. Cindy will give his bio and who he is. So what you're going to do is Cindy's going to present a video. It's a very small video. It's called Signal Your Health. It's just a short video. It's just going to share with you a little bit about what this technology is. So Cindy, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Doria. If I'm on the right thing, I may be wrong. So many tabs pulled up. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's it. All right. There we go. Just a minute, let me get it going. Bigger. All right, there we go.
Signals. They're all around us. They convey information, communicate needs, and even keep us safe. Signaling is an essential part of life, including the life within us. Did you know your body has 30 trillion cells constantly communicating? That's trillions of signals happening every single minute. Imagine if these signals failed. Communication would break down, not just around you, but inside you. But when human cells signal at their highest potential, eyes blink with clarity, muscles restore with strength, lungs breathe with ease, hearts beat with vigor. Every cell in your body synergizes to create the best you on the inside and out. Stress, environmental toxins, physical challenges, and aging can weaken your natural signaling pathways. Don't let time diminish your body's resilience. At ASEA, we've cracked the code on how to revitalize these life-giving signals. With over 15 years at the forefront of cellular health, multiple patents, and numerous trade secrets, our proprietary technology unlocks your body's own cellular communication. Renowned health and medical professionals consider our cell signaling technology to be one of the most significant scientific breakthroughs of our time. Independent research confirms our products dramatically boost antioxidant signals by up to 60% and enhance cellular health and protection. Our flagship products are made with ingredients that are native to the body, and they're precision engineered to be unmatched in bioavailability, so they deliver exactly what your body needs, exactly where it's needed most. We invite you to join the growing number of people around the world who have discovered a way to lead a more vibrant, energetic life. With millions of bottles of cell signaling supplement and Renew 28 gel sold worldwide, the results are clear.
I feel better than ever.
Vigor gör vår upplevelse magnifica.
Hoy duermo mejor que nunca.
我的皮肤看起来棒极了。
Mon cœur ne s'est jamais porté aussi bien.
Revitalize your health by energizing and signaling your cells. This is your one and only life. Transform it with extraordinary health.
Oops,
Signals.
sorry. Hang on. Back to there. Okay. And I'll show you the pictures later. That's our only video for tonight. We want to change it up just a little bit and show this. It's kind of a teaser video, but it does talk about how important signaling is in your body. And I just like that aspect of it. So tonight we're excited with our guest. We have an amazing testimony from Greg tonight. Greg is from New South Wales, Australia. Is that correct, Greg?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm going to go through his bio a little bit and then we're going to turn it over to him and let him just share his testimony. I love it, the fact that we can meet people across the world and have them share their testimony with people, because the world we live in now is so technologically advanced that we can do so much with this company and with these products and getting them out to the world, which is our goal and our passion. So Greg was raised and worked on the family wheat farm and sheep farm. He was educated at a boarding school and through life experiences and his wallet. He worked in hospitality and owned hotels, working in the building industry, and dealt in antiques at different periods in his life. He has 3 children, 2 grandchildren, a son, Jason, 43, who has cerebral palsy and is wheelchair bound, a son, Brock, 40, who has Asperger's syndrome, and a daughter, Zoe, 34, who experienced a stroke at the age of 18 months. Greg has suffered from many conditions over 35 years, many being side effects of treatments, including multiple seizures per day, rashes, headaches, incontinence, slurred speech, double vision, anxiety, depression, erectile dysfunction, sleep disorders for 20 years, high cholesterol, and weight gain. That's a lot to deal with. And he has there's a thing I'm going to let him say to the end that just really blows my mind. But Greg, I'm going to just let you talk and tell us, first of all, how were you introduced to this technology and what were your thoughts when you first heard about it?
Thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight, Cindy and Doria. I was first introduced to the product in October 2017 by a man by the name of Mike O'Gorman. He told me on a number of occasions, and he said he had a friend with a dog with a cell dividing condition. If it could fix a dog, it'd have no trouble fixing me. So after he told me quite a number of times, I eventually bought the product in October 2017. It sat in my hoke. I had a look on my order history before I got on, and I purchased 11 cases and 4 tubes of gel before I tried it in April 2018. At that time, I was busy running my hotel. I was working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, and losing $2,000 a week. So at the time, I was $1.5 million in debt and bought a sea with borrowed money. So once I started on the product, I only took in what was written on the bottle, 60 ml twice a day for 30 days. And I rang Mike's mate, Trevor, that helped me open the account. And I said, this stuff doesn't work. And he told me to double it. Within 60 days, I was able to cancel 4 invasive brain procedures. At that time, I was having 6 and 8 seizures a day, 1,500 milligrams of anticonvulsants a day, wearing men's sanitary pads, and the next 4 planned brain procedures for me at the Austin Hospital in Melbourne was to drill 10 holes in my head, implant 10 electrodes for 10 days. Then they're going to move the electrodes. 90 days later, they were going to remove brain tissue, and I was going to require medication and full-time care for the rest of my life, and I've got that in writing. I commenced having seizures at the age of 25 when I had a cell dividing condition removed from my ankle, lymph glands removed from my groin, and that surgery left me with a blood clot on the brain. So for 2 years after then, I was going to doctors trying to convince them I had an issue. basically, I was sort of like an aura where I'd get a funny feeling a number of times a day. And it wasn't until I had an episode where I blacked out for half an hour, chewed up, convulsed and chewed up the inside of my mouth and my tongue, that the doctors thought, yeah, maybe he has got an issue. But it wasn't until that happened on the second occasion did I go and see a doctor, because and that within 10 days they did brain surgery. That was in 1985. Seizures continued. The doctors wanted to do more surgery, and I questioned his ability, and he got very offended. So in 2003, I was having about 20 seizures a day without warning. So I had further surgery, and a blood clot was removed as big as a cherry. I seizure-free for 2 weeks, and then they commenced again. And like I said, they continued again for the next 15 years. And if I hadn't found a seer, I'd either be dead or in a wheelchair. I certainly wouldn't have any quality of life. It wasn't real flush as it was. So, you know, you've just read out what my children's conditions were. And so over a period of time, basically all our time and resources was spent on health to try and improve the children's condition. The children's condition was priority to me in the first instance anyway, because I didn't feel sick. I just used to black out without warning. And because I didn't feel sick and I was probably in denial, I drove far longer than I should have. On 3 occasions, the passenger had to take control of the car while I was driving. My wife, on 2 occasions, once I was driving in the middle of Melbourne and I blacked out, she had to take control of the car. Another time we were going across the plains and I was doing about 130 Ks or 70 mile an hour, and I blacked out again and she had to take control of the car. Another instance, I was driving a furniture truck and ran into the table drain, and by the time man working for me at the time got control of the truck and I'd come to. He was in as much shock as I was. And another occasion, I drove off the road, hit a white post, and I was totally unaware until I got back to my shop, and the employees said, "You've had a seizure." And I said, "No, I don't think so." And he took me out and showed me the front of the ute, and it was a big dent in it where I'd hit the white post right in the middle. So I was very fortunate not to kill someone or kill myself or seriously injure someone. And after that period, I no longer drove. So, but I think it was much as denial, and because I didn't feel sick, and the doctors had told me for 2 years there was nothing wrong with me. But anyway, but now I've got my driver's license back. I don't have to worry about it. So.
Greg, how long was it that you did not have your driver's license?
30 years.
That had to just be an amazing feeling to have that back.
Well, it was, but there was a lot of things I was deprived of in life. When my daughter was a baby, it wasn't safe for me to nurse her. I remember the first time I nursed her when she came out from hospital. I was sitting on the lounge and everyone had pillows all around me and telling me not to drop her. And I had no control. When you'd black out, the lights are on, but no one's home. So after that, I didn't nurse her till I don't think she was 2 or 3, and I knew she was solid enough to bounce if I dropped her. So there was things like that. There was a lot of things. I didn't swim for 30 years. Shouldn't have got up ladders and power tools and things. Once I had a seizure, fell off the back of the truck, landed on bitumen, snapped my Achilles, surgery, bedridden for 10 weeks. So if you think about what the children had and what I suffered with, what do you think my spouse or my wife, Dorothy, suffered with for all those years? Like, she had all those conditions to deal with. And you know what men are like, we're not the best communicators. And then when we got a health challenge, it was an enormous load. I got off light, and then when they got a challenge, and to perform, you run on adrenaline, which is your flight and fight hormone. So you're not the best person to be around. So to avoid confrontation, I used to work all the time. So that puts a bigger load on the family, and you miss out on a lot of opportunities. Like we both missed out on a lot of opportunities. I think we had one family holiday in 39 years where we weren't travelling for a treatment for someone, and one weekend away that I can remember. So all those normal activities that everyone do, we just missed out on it. So that's just the way life is. You can look back, but I don't look back at what would have been like with a seer. But whenever I see someone with a health challenge now, I know I can help them, help the relationships within their family and relationships with their community where they can do things. So we didn't get that opportunity of working in the community or those sorts of things. We're just too busy. And that sense of giving and the reward of giving that you get from contributing to the community. So we just had so much on all the time, and I just worked all the time. But,
Sounds like a lot of your vacations may have been spent going to doctors, like you said. Do you have any idea how many surgeries you've had in your life?
Well, I've had 2 lots of brain surgery. I've had things cut off my legs a few times, lymph glands removed. There was a whole lot of things, but we spent a lot of time and money doing other things. We went to Australian Institute of Human Potential for 3.5 years with our son with the increased muscle tone, where we were lectured on the brain and diet and those sorts of things. And we just got him crawling, and then he had surgery, but they broke his hips, put him in plaster, operated his foot, put a bolt in it, and he was never able to crawl again. So I'm not a fan of surgery, I can assure you. There'll be no more of it, for me anyway.
That's a lot.
So,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so everyone's had a challenge, but we all know we can help people now, and we've just been blessed to be introduced to this product and have the opportunity to share the potential where we can just help so many things. You help the person, you helps the relationships within the family, and it gives them more opportunities to do things and have quality of life. That's the secret, that quality of life for people, where their independence. And my mother's 96, still driving and fully independent. And she just values it so much. And I think I value my health even more now because I've been where I'd lost my independence. I didn't travel independently or anything, and I'd had the privilege of going over to the ASEA factory in Utah in April and all that sort of stuff. So I've been blessed.
Tell us about that trip. What did you witness out there, and what were your thoughts when you saw the manufacturing facility?
Yeah, I was fairly emotional going over because of what it did for me. I took over a letter I'd written to Redox, and I gave that to Tyler. I think when I handed it to him, I said it took me 2 days and 2 boxes of tissues to write.
I can imagine that would be hard. That's an awesome opportunity to go and see the company that brought your life back to you, basically, your health. Just a better quality of life. And I know you can't help, and I think you mentioned this, what maybe your children's lives would have been like had you known about this then. Of course, it wasn't even around back then. We're relatively new, still considered new. Yeah, it just breaks my heart that we didn't know, so much further back.
That's why we can't go back. But like my daughter that had a stroke at 18 months, and all brain injured people become low in oxygen. So for more than 90% of her life, she was low in oxygen, and suffered other conditions like I did as from the side effects of some treatments. But she's no longer low in oxygen, and she's been able to have 2 healthy children. So the benefits are flowing on, and my grandchildren use the product all the time, and they're only one's 12 months and one's 3.
Well, that's the thing. It's never too late to start. You know, like you
Yeah.
were talking about, your daughter was able to have children. And then getting people on there at earlier ages would be, because our world is not what it used to be 40, 60 years ago. We have so many toxins in our environment that does affect our health. And so even getting what we think are healthy people or either healthy children on, I think that's just a necessity like water. They should be drinking this and taking it just for potential issues down the road or challenges. So what do you, so when you were introduced to it, did you believe it? Did you do research, or did you just jump on board because you were looking for something that might help?
I didn't do any research, and like I said, I didn't take it straight away.
Mhm.
I just bought it, and then someone asked me why I tried it, and I said, well, I sold my hotel and had to empty the cool room. So, and then I just started on the product, and it just went from there. And I've got 2 medical reports acknowledging Redox for my recovery, which is a great asset to have with a testimonial. And a lot of people won't tell their doctors, and I encourage people to tell their doctors, because doctors end up with health challenges as well, or their family do. And that's why we've got some wonderful people on our board, Dr. David Silverman, Dr. Maureen Hayes. They had family with health challenges. And so you never know who might need this product, and you can't discriminate. And then if the doctors acknowledge that you've recovered from that product, it's wonderful for you. You should be able to share. It makes it easier to share the potential of the product.
That's huge that your doctor acknowledged that, because some doctors may not would do that. There are doctors I'm hearing that patients are bringing this to them and asking the doctor about them, and the doctor doesn't know about the technology. So that's how well this is spreading. And a lot of doctors don't know about it yet, but then a lot do. And then, like you mentioned, we do have a medical professional board consisting of various different types of doctors and healthcare professionals. So it's getting around. And I just wish people would be open-minded. I mean, you never know what this can do. And the fact that it's non-toxic and native to your body, there's no reason not to try this, especially with the things people are struggling with today. We talked a little bit last night. We had like a quick little run through to be sure we could connect all the way over to Australia. So, and we were talking about the product and the packaging, and you were telling us in Europe or abroad, y'all have different rules and regulations for what's put on the bottle. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, in America, it's actually sold as a supplement, and it's written on your pouches that it's a redox molecule supplement. In Australia, we're not allowed to use redox. It comes into Australia under the Health Food Act as a beverage, and the Renew 28 actually comes in as under the makeup sort of thing act. So yeah, skin product. So because of different legislations in different countries and things, that's why Redox can't be used, because of the particular industries have got so much financial influence over government. So that's why there's restrictions on the product, the same as you can't make any claims about the product. So that makes it more difficult to promote here in Australia than it does for you people in America, because it's actually got cell signaling supplement on it, where it doesn't say that in Australia.
And I find that odd because I hear people talk about there's so many toxins that are in our cosmetics and different foods and things that Europe doesn't allow into their products like we do. And so I guess I'm surprised that Australia would limit as to what they're putting on there and not let it say cell signaling, because it is just a supplement, basically. Not like a vitamin, but just a supplement you're putting into your body.
Yeah, but it can't even be sold as a supplement in Australia. It's sold as a beverage.
Right. Interesting.
As a
Okay.
drink.
Oh, I forgot to mention, if anyone has questions, put those in the chat for Greg and he can answer those. You can type them in now if you'd like, and we will go through that. So Greg, I do have some pictures of you. If you want me to show those, I can show and you can talk about them as I pull them up.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yes, whack 'em up.
Okay. Let me go back and share my screen. On the right tab. Whoops. I can escape out of that one. Come on. Well, it's not letting me go back. Hang on. Ah. I had this trouble the last time. Hold on one moment. Let me go back to stop share. I could just open up another tab, but I can't get to my browser. Hold on, let's try this again. This is par for our normal tech and challenge thing. It's not letting me escape. Oh, I want to show the pictures. Do you have them, Greg, anywhere nearby?
No, I couldn't put them up there. It's beyond my capabilities.
Well,
But that's one of them.
go back. And that's when you were 60, I believe.
No, that's at 62. That's
62.
when they're going to drill all the holes in my head. So that skin
Okay.
it's just any rash is just a detox reaction and relates to your liver. So that's my liver was full of all the medications I've been on over 30 odd years. Affects your hormone balance and all the rest of it. And the hormones can natural chemical messages in your body responsible for your moods, emotions, and all organ functions. So you can imagine how my moods, emotions, and all organ functions were functioning. So
Yeah, I hate I can't pull those up. And you can go into more detail with this. When you go through a detox, I mean, people think of that as a bad thing, but actually it can be a good thing because it's getting your body, getting those toxins out of your body, and it has to come out somewhere. And sometimes you do have those skin reactions. So we do encourage people, don't get discouraged if you all of a sudden have, I won't call it a rash, but just whether it's eczema, whatever with your skin, give it time, keep drinking it because you've got to get the toxins out of your body. You know, go for a walk, sauna, sweat. That's the best way to get toxins out of your body, or one of the best ways.
that was before I started on a
Oh, that was before you started. That's what your skin looked like. Okay. From the toxins. Yeah.
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 So,
and some people still will have that once they start on a SIA for a while. Not usually, but some do.
Yeah, my bowel motions changed. That was the main detox reaction for me. I didn't have pains in the tummy. You just have loose motions, and I tell most people I'll have that, and it's a good sign anyway.
Okay.
But I drank plenty of water as well. SIA won't work unless you drink water.
That's true.
Your cells detox 4 times quicker than normal, and all you do is shift the toxins around in your body instead of flushing them out. So I encourage everyone to drink 2 to 3 litres of water a day, and warm water is better because cells are activated quicker with warm water.
That's true. Well, Greg, I'm going to open it up for Doria and see if she has some questions. And again, continue to put questions in your chat. And then when Doria's finished, we'll go through the questions.
Greg, so I worked in a hospital and it was a med surge unit. So when you were presenting all your, or when Cindy was sharing about your bio and then you were sharing about all the things that you were dealing with for all those years, just a numerous amount of cascade events that happened to you. And we would consider you a train wreck. If you came to our floor, you would be a train wreck because you had all these multiple functioning, malfunctionings or, happening in your body. I don't know if you touched on this, but I can't imagine, what you went through. So how did you cope?
Get busy.
Get busy. Okay.
Busy.
It's a way to just put it to the back burner, like none of this is happening, so to speak.
I was still very active, running the hotel, was doing lots of hours. And because I had to do extra because we were losing money, so you unemployed what you needed to employ. So we just did lots of hours. My wife had a job in Wagga, and then she'd drive an hour and a half on the weekends to come and help me in the hotel. So, and my daughter used to help a bit as much as she could at that time as well. So, well, you got to cope. You got no other choice, have you?
Right. Yeah.
But you're not always easy to get along with.
Yeah. What a
but-
blessing it was. I mean, especially for your wife, everything that, she was going through with you and then your children. I mean, she could have easily said, and we see that unfortunately, when people are going through a lot of things like you're dealing with or had dealt with, that, say, I'm out of here. I can't deal with this anymore. So she's really, I call a saint for staying there with you. But listen, what was the driving force for you to continue to press in?
with your seer.
Yeah, just wanting to find answers. So you had tried all these other modalities and those weren't working for you. So what was
Desperation, probably.
Okay.
Well, my next option wasn't real good. I wasn't in a hurry to have brain surgery again, but I would have had it if I hadn't, because you get to that stage where your quality of life's nearly non-existent and you don't care anyway. And you think it can't get any worse, but quite often it does with the treatments. In most instances, you get, your condition gets worse. So you sort of can't repair cell damage with a knife or a poison, because it just causes more issues for already compromised immune system.
Right, for sure. Yeah. So you may have mentioned this and I might have missed it, but did your friend know what was going on with you, that you were dealing with all these health challenges? Were they aware of that?
Yeah, he would have had some ideas. We used to have a yarn. He used to service equipment in the hotel. That's how I got to meet Mike. And quite often I'd be talking to him and just black out without warning.
Okay.
And the kids often used to say to me, "How many times did you fall off the perch today, Dad?" That's what they used to call the seizure, falling off the perch, black out without warning.
Yeah. So I'm thankful that your friend had the boldness and courage to speak up and say to you, hey, there might be something here that might help you. I'm thankful for that. So you said you were taking 60 ml or milliliters, which equals 2 ounces. And then, on our literature that we get in our box, it says, on the card to take 2 ounces twice a day. Did you stay on that dosage or did you increase your dosage?
I increased it after 30 days to 40 mil, which is 4 of those, but it's 8 ounces, isn't it? Yes, 8 ounces. But I took it all in the morning because it used to keep me awake. I found one routine easier than two, especially in hotels. You mightn't get home at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and then you're up again at 6. So I took it all first thing in the morning. I didn't use the Renew 28. I didn't know anything about the Renew 28. That stage, I didn't use it in a nebulizer or eye drop or a spray bottle or all those other mediums that are extremely beneficial. I know if I'd started again and used the product the way I know how to use it now, I would have recovered in half the time. Basically, after a detox period, the more you take, the quicker you recover. It's quite obvious with people with serious injuries. That's why they take, or serious conditions. That's why they take so much. So when people first start on the product, I suggest they take at least 240 mil in the morning if they can, or 240 mil after a detox period, and if they can afford more, to take more. Because everyone's governed by, a lot of people are governed by a budget. But now I drink half a bottle every day. I also use it in a nebulizer every day. It's the quickest way to get those molecules into your brain, your blood, your lungs, and all your hormone producing glands, your 4 vitals. lung cells heal quicker than any other cells in your body. Oxygen's critical to sustain life, critical to maintain health, and critical to become healthy. So it's made part of my routine, and people say, how do you afford to take that much? I said, well, I've turned over a lot of money where money wouldn't have helped my children recover or me recover. I've been where money has no value, and it's still never been a priority of mine at any stage.
Yeah.
I was
And
a
it's
bit lucky.
important, you just said a key thing about health is, I mean, you got to put, our health is a gift, and then also you have to put a value on that. And there's so many people that don't do that. There do other extra things on the outside. The other thing I wanted to ask you was, once you started it, and everybody says, well, I'm not feeling anything, but you had all these things going on in your body. When did you start, I'm going to say feel, or when did you start seeing things going better?
Probably not until I increased my dose. So after 30 days from 60 ml twice a day to 240 ml a day. That's when it changed. I started to detox a whole lot more on that as well.
So what was the first thing that you saw?
My bowel motion changed, but the first change was after 60 days, my seizure pattern changed, which was massive for me after 30 odd years, where I'd get no warning when I was in it. I was totally unaware, and then it'd take me a while to recover. That changed where I was a little bit aware when it was going to happen. I was a little bit aware when I was in it, and then I would recover quicker than I did before. So that's when I was able to cancel those 4 invasive brain procedures after 60 days because of those changes. Then after 90 days, I started going periods of 30 and 40 days seizure-free. Doctors wanted to try me on a new medication, but it was only new to me and no one else. 9 months, I had no further seizures. 12 months, I was off every form of medication. I just weaned myself off gradually as I felt comfortable. And because it had been so habitual over a long period of time, and my family sort of wanted me not to go off them, but so I just reduced it in a way where I'd extend the period between dosages to start with, and then halve the dosages and that sort of thing. So that's how I went off the medications. And then after 21 months, I was 12 months seizure free, which meant I'd qualified to get a license after 30 years. So when I went for medical, I was very keen for them to do all the neurological tests because I wanted to prove I had no further scarring on the brain. But they refused to do all neurological tests, all blood tests. One of the questions on roads and maritime for Australia to get a license is, do you suffer from blood pressure? They asked me, they didn't even take my blood pressure. I offered to be a case study at that hospital, which wasn't accepted.
Yeah. So it took a process. A lot of times people are expecting this to happen overnight, and we certainly didn't get that way overnight, and so what happened to you, you saw some changes within the first, like what you said, 30 days, and it was 90 days, and then 21 months. So the molecules are going to go exactly where they need to the greatest need in your body to bring healing. And we got to emphasize again, this is not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure anything. This is not a treatment. It's just allowing the body, to heal itself. So I think it's really important for you to share that, because there's some people that are on the product and they're not feeling anything yet. But we know, like Dr. Lee Osler said, it is impossible for it not to work, So I just wanted to ask you that. So are you able to, go ahead.
I continued to improve with different things after that as well, though.
Yeah.
The sleeping disorder, I read on, which used to be the See a Healthy Self Facebook site, a man with a lung condition, 2 men with 2 different lung conditions. So I bought a nebulizer. One of the family said, what'd you buy that for? And the next morning I said, I just paid for it. I only used it once and I could tell the difference. But I ended up I was dependent on the sleeping device for 20 years and I no longer need it.
It's amazing. So Cindy and I both have this book, Cindy, what's it called? One Disease Redox Imbalance. Yeah. So it's amazing, that once our body gets into balance and or hormesis or, then things will start, working better in our bodies. So that's all I have. I know we got a lot of questions in the chat. So Cindy, you want to speak to those?
Yeah, I see one. So did you have your lymph nodes removed prior to starting Redox? And if so, how can you compare your immunity, or how has your immunity been like compared to before and after Redox?
The lymph glands were removed 30 odd years before I started on Redox. They were removed from my left groin. What's the other question?
How is your immunity compared? Do you get sick as often now, or do you not pick up every bug that passes by? How's your immunity?
My immunity's brilliant. I haven't had a sick day in 5 years. I think the secret is also the nebulizer.
Yeah, I do too. And Greg is asking, what dosage from start to present have you found to work for you on your journey?
Well, 240 mil was very successful because I was on it for a long period of time and I stopped having seizures on that dosage of 240 mil. But like I say, I take half a bottle a day now because it slows down aging to 7 years in 10, and I've lost a few years, so I want to gain a few as well. So yeah, but I'm never sick. And it's to go from one extreme to the other is like a fairy tale, really, for me. So anyway, not to worry, it's all good.
That's amazing. I think this is a repeat question. What dosage to get response, and how do you consume it? Like you just told us your dosage, and you do nebulize it as well as drinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, somebody's wanting the picture, and I want to show the picture. So your testimony, we will upload this to our YouTube channel. So you just go to Redox Nurse Talk. It should be up in the morning. But also, Greg has a testimonial on our website called Real Redox Results. He's number 103. So you can go there. That's the one Alan Noble puts out, and you can go and watch his original testimonial with Alan. Let me try something. I'm trying to see if there's any other
I'm
questions.
just going to answer this. So somebody's asking, what is 240 mils? Well, that's milliliters. So for every one, what is it? For every 30 milliliters, it equals
1 ounce.
1 ounce. So it's 8 ounces.
And that's a good level to work up to. I'm going to try something. Hopefully I don't lose everybody. I'm going to see if I can diminish my screen and see if I can find those
pictures. While you're doing that, I'll ask him. So Greg, do you get the other, because Cecilia, that our flagship product is the Cia liquid that he's been talking about and the Renew 28. Do you also get the other products that Cia has, like the Self Performance line and the Via line as well?
No, I can't. I've used them once or twice, but I got out of the habit of taking tablets, so I'm not fussed with taking supplements. And so no, I've used them, but I don't use them religiously.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you.
I've used the serum and the skin product and the skin products.
Okay. So let's say I'm in your town and I'm in a restaurant, you meet me. How would you share this, and just very short and sweet? How would you pique my interest, and then how would you tell me about what redox signaling molecules is?
Well, most people, the main conversation is either their health or the weather. I can help them with their health, but I can't help them with the weather. I usually just tell them there's a new technology out there for your health and what it's done for me, basically. And I tell them it's non-toxic. It's now got scientific research supported by university research. It just flows with me. There wouldn't be a person I don't meet that doesn't hear about this product. And we get rejected all the time, but you just got to have the courage to keep sharing, because we do get results. My biggest problem, I haven't followed up with a lot of people I've sponsored. I personally sponsored over 100 people. So I find sponsoring extremely easy. I don't tell them I sponsor them. I tell them I'll help them open their own wholesale account with the company, so they get product at the same price as everyone else. So I never use the words to people that I'm going to sponsor them or whatever. I just help them create their own wholesale account with the company, and that gets delivered to their door. And then I always put in writing, because when you're talking to people and they've got a health challenge they don't remember, I send them an email of how to use the product, and I tell them if they use the product the way I suggest for 90 days and it doesn't improve their condition, I'll refund them every cent they spend on it. No one's ever claimed, because they've either got a result or haven't used it the way I've suggested. So it's a pretty easy statement to make. So yeah, I find it easy to share. And because I went to a boarding school, you mix with people, same in the hotel, it was easy to communicate with everyone but your family, I think. For me, you just, the way I was, my condition was, so the medical industry sort of destroyed my health and quality of life, my children's health and quality of life, family structure. Like, my wife was wonderful, but we had nothing in common after nearly 40 years, because she became a full-time carer and all I did was work, or I was never around to communicate and help with different things as well, because I was physically and emotionally not capable of doing so. So after 39 years, we got as much respect as we ever had and care for each other, but we're no longer together.
Yeah.
So, we just go through different stages in our life, which is always a challenge. So just because one challenge is over doesn't mean another one doesn't come up. So you just got to be prepared and be confident in your own ability to address that issue. And that's it. We just get educated through our life experiences, and that's why it's difficult to share this product sometimes, because we haven't been to university. And I just tell people, well, I've been educated through life experiences and I've got a PhD in common sense, which most of us have, because we've been able to cope with our challenges and life experiences to address those challenges.
Yeah. Well, these are your golden years. You and I are about the same age, in our 60s. So this is, you're living a better life now. Are you, Cindy, I'll be quiet in just a second. Got me started here. So you are sharing this. You just shared that you have over 100 people. What has that meant to you to have, to earn this residual income?
Well, some have dropped out because of financial reasons, because it's so hard at the moment. And because of I should be doing Zooms all the time like you ladies do. And because I've been a bit selfish in the way I'm living and doing things that I haven't been able to do for 30 years, I haven't spent enough time with the people I've actually sponsored, doing follow-ups, and some have dropped out. So even though I've burned gold, most weeks I get paid at 700, because I haven't worked at the business side. And when I was in America and met all the diamonds, that I could see where I've gone wrong. Like, most diamonds haven't personally sponsored 100 people, and they tell me you only have to sponsor 60 to go diamond. Well, I'm a long way from diamond. So I need to do a lot of things to improve the business side. But I spend a lot of time with people not in my group as well, and you should be focused, but people like you ring up or contact, and I don't care who I help. And it doesn't, I'm quite passionate about helping brain injured children, and I'm always attracted to someone in a wheelchair because my son's in a wheelchair. So it doesn't matter to me who contacts me. I'm always available, and because like I said, money is not my priority in life. You know, I've been where it's of no value, and I was always a punter anyway. So that's just the way life is. So it's good to have the money because it pays for my product. So I'm healthy for nothing. And the amount of money, like I probably spent $750,000 over 4 decades on alternative treatments alone with just my children and myself. So I was always confident in my ability to make money. My father brought me up where you'll make more money with your head than you'll ever make with your hands. So I've never stressed about money at any stage, even though like I had a personal debt of $3 million at one stage. But I regarded that as an asset because I used that debt to make money. So whereas a lot of people can't cope with stress, you know, financial debt. So what you've been educated to do. So that's just the way life is.
And one last thing to say, Cindy. So you just give yourself grace. You've been through a lot over what you went through in those 35 years. And then, you know, now able to enjoy life with your wife and your family. And so just give yourself grace is what I would say. And that time will come, you know, you continue sharing your testimony. That, you know, we're going to put this up on our YouTube channel, Redox Nurse Talk. It's going to touch a lot of lives. And, you know, we're here for you too, as well.
Right, thanks.
And Greg, like Doria said, no one will blame you for just enjoying life. You've earned it after all the struggles you've gone through. So you know, it'll come when it's time, when you're ready. You just enjoy life and your family. I do want to thank you for that. I did try to get the pictures up. I still can't. I don't know what's going on with that. If someone would like, if Greg's okay with it, I can email them to you. If someone wants to put their emails in the chat, I can try to get them out. Or if there's a way I can try to attach them to the Zoom tonight to when I post it to the YouTube channel. If I can get them on that, that would be ideal. But I'll have to see how that goes. I've never had to add anything other than the video. So we'll try. But if anybody wants, just put the your address or reach out to Greg or Doria or myself, and we can email them to you as well. Greg, this has been awesome. We appreciate you sharing their story. It's very touching and heartwarming. And I know people either listening tonight or that will watch the YouTube, maybe even months down the road, this could be a testimony for them and this could be their last hope. So I appreciate you sharing from your heart and for everything that you've gone through, and as well as your family and your children. Like I said, we will upload this to our YouTube channel. So if you're new to this and you're curious and want to know a little bit more information, reach out to the person that invited you to this website. And feel free to use this website to grow anybody's business out there. And the same with you, Greg, if you want to just send them to either our site each Tuesday or to the Redox YouTube channel and let them look at the testimonials of people we've recorded already. So like you said, we help each other. So whether we're on the same team or not, it's just about sharing the product and the technology and giving people hope for their health challenges right now. So again, if you're interested, just get back to the person that invited you, whether you want to be a customer or an associate and you know, grow a business or make a little money, or like Greg said, you get your product paid for. That's huge just to have that done. Next week, we will have another guest or a couple on. It will be Matt and Regina Janning. And so they will be sharing their testimony. And from the bio that I've already read, they have some pretty amazing results as well. So we just keep learning and meeting people and sharing the testimonies. And that's how this works. Let me stop the recording. Dory, do you see any emails in the chat at the moment?
I do, and I wrote it down. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Just
got them
in here.
Okay.
And if I can, pardon? I can send you the email I usually send to new associates on how to use the product. If anyone's interested, because when people are sick, they need to have it in writing and they can refer to, because you know it varies with different conditions and different budgets, but you know just the basics of use, how much to use, and that sort of thing. If anyone's interested, it doesn't matter.
Okay, that's great. I was gonna, is on, when you're with you're on your number what on Real Redox results site? What is that number? 103?
103.
103 under neurological.
Okay, and is your picture, does Alan Noble have your picture? Did you show your picture of your, no?
No.
Okay,
no,
we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
It's always a process. We keep learning.
Yeah.
Challenge. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay, let me just take a picture of these emails here.